That's not it. Here's my video.
All right, Shalom. I'm Ahmad Gabar, and I was running a few errands today. I just wanted to come out here in the city of Phoenix, Arizona. I just want to ask this brother right here a few questions. You said what happened in Phoenix?
No, this is New York.
New York right there?
They had someone in handcuffs.
Hold on, let me see if I can turn this around right quick.
Let me see if I can turn my volume.
All right. Let me see if you can see. Well, they were restraining a guy?
They were restraining the black guy.
Okay.
And they shot him while in handcuffs. And still flipping him over.
You see that? Hey, that's why people are rising up. Hey, let me ask you a question though. What nationality are you?
I'm Hispanic.
Hispanic?
Full-blood Mexican.
Okay, well, how do you feel about everything that's going on around here?
I stand with my black community, man. Like, we both, in history, we learned about a lot of your guys' suffering.
Yeah.
Ours is...
Hey, you know one thing though? You know we're all part of the same family. The so-called
same
Mexicans, blacks, and Native Americans.
Yep.
We're all part of the same family.
Yep.
We have one enemy, one oppressor. You know who that is? Take a guess. There you go.
They stole our land. They brought you guys over where they exterminated the Tanos,
There you go.
the Caribbeans. They brought your people over to replace population. You guys mixed with us. That's why you got Afro-Latinos. We have both been enslaved. Both built this country. Both were lynched. Both were told to segregate it in the East. You guys were segregated in the West. We weren't even allowed to drink from the same fountains as them.
That's true. That's very true.
Um,
and this is only like 100 years ago.
Only 100 years ago. The Rodney King case was only 30 years ago. You think we would have learned, and people want to use MLK as a well, he did it peacefully. While he did it peacefully, they still shot, still lynched all.
Hey, you know that he was set up?
He was set up, and they still killed him after.
That's right. That's right. Hey, because our people, you can only be oppressed for so long. Then you have to rise up. You have to take a stand.
I agree with that. And like I said, as a veteran, I stand with the protesters. Like, how much quieter, how much more kneeling, how much more mottos and catchphrases like, I can't breathe, run with Maul, remember Breonna Taylor, remember the people in the cages at the border dying in inhumane conditions, while predominantly protesters of a white group can protest with armed guns and hold our government officials basically hostage just for a haircut. It's not the same.
Right, and our people are rising back up. Our people are rising, and they're actually starting to know who their enemies are.
Exactly.
You know, you got these gangs, you got the Bloods and Crips, even actually coming together as one.
I mean, America's a whole lot of gang shit. Everywhere you look, it's something gang-wise.
Well,
the police is a gang.
There you go.
Civilians are a gang. Cat for Real versus Chipotle is a gang.
So what do you think is going to come out of this, out of all this whole situation right here?
With the fact that they're trying to implement martial law and curfew, and that's another thing. Doug Ducey was hesitant to place a curfew for the COVID-19.
Right.
Because people just needed a haircut.
Right.
The fact that we were protesting peacefully and still get tear gas, and he wants to implement a curfew right away. Why? Doug Ducey, is your properties in Scottsdale being destroyed?
Exactly. And then they're not out here just like the rest of the people.
Yeah,
you know. He's a so-called Mexican, right?
Doug Ducey?
Yeah, I believe he is. Or he might be like Italian.
I don't know. To be honest, I don't mean to sound prejudiced because I do stand with white brothers and sisters who stand with us.
Right.
Him. I don't know. I feel like some white people like to claim the small percentages they got that are foreigners. Like they like the milk. I'm a native. You're only percentage of native because your ancestors raped the natives.
Right.
So that's how you got that percentage. If you got percentage of black in you, most likely it's because your ancestors raped them.
Right.
My European, my Hispanic, the ancient natives of Mesoamerica and South America, we don't even know our ancient language. We know to speak Spanish.
That's right.
The European version of Spanish. When people say, go back and speak your Spanish, you got to remember, Spanish is your white people language. Europeans, Spaniards are Europeans.
Right.
So.
Hey, you know a lot of information, man.
Yeah, you have to. You got to.
Did you hear about New York bringing in the martial law troops?
Martial law troops. I heard Seattle was thinking about doing it. I got friends in Washington. They were saying like shit started to get crazy more out there. And I mean, all 50 states are rioting. Well, not complete, but like there's riots and protests in all 50 states. Ireland and Britain are joining with us.
All right, man.
We're not gonna stand for the system that has mistreated us, made us feel like in the corner for generations and generations and generations. It's that fear, that hate that we felt for far too long, and now we're finally speaking up.
Right, and you understand one thing, that there's a switch, because the so-called white man back then, he was being feared. Now they're trying to be good with us. Now we're standing for you.
Yeah.
They really don't care about us, but they're trying to act like they are, you know.
Exactly. I mean, the reason more people are speaking up is because now we can speak up. Me, you, we can speak up now without fear of being lynched.
Right.
You know, and now they're asking, the government's asking for ICE to help them. You know, what happens to the Hispanic Americans who do get rounded up by ICE? It wouldn't be the first time they've repatriated Hispanics and deported a bunch of American Hispanics to countries they've never lived in. And they're asking the same thing. They're asking the same thing to do to you guys and us. They keep Little Rock. They want to take the little bit of native land they allow them to keep. They want to take that. They want to destroy those.
Hey,
lands.
that's why the natives are so fucked up. They're drunk on the streets, you know. Because even if you think about it, even on the Navajo land, they don't have anything, you know. The so-called white man took all the resources.
Yeah, and they did the same thing with us with property lines, redlining properties. This is a poor community.
Right.
Usually more poor communities. What's the highest percentage in poorer communities? It's colored folk.
Exactly.
We're mostly, and the fact that these privileged folk can also move into our poorer neighborhoods and gentrify them and make it more expensive for us to live in by adding luxury apartments because it's cheaper to do that. People, anti-gentrification, get that money up and turn those white privileged neighborhoods into ghetto neighborhoods. They want to move into our neighborhoods. They want to appropriate our culture. They love our food. They love the way we do things.
Hey, the so-called white man is a culture vulture, so he doesn't have any flavors. So you know what he'll do? He'll go to a different land, just like for us, and he'll steer our culture. But I mean, they hate black people, but they love us at the same time. It's like a love-hate relationship.
They love your guys' style.
And even you
they
guys
love our
too.
food. They love our food. Like,
we're all of the same family, brother.
When we had Cinco de Mayo, I'll tell you right now, all the people I saw breaking that COVID quarantine were predominantly white folk.
Right.
And the same folks who would rather have us in cages and tell us we'll go through the legal process of getting in this country, which is hard. Right. You got to have money, and even then, it takes years to even get that.
Did you see one thing on the news that the ones that are really putting buildings on fire with so-called white people, like agent provocateurs?
Yeah, I mean, I know there's a small mixtures of people looting, and of course, and no matter what, there's always going to be a small group who's going to take advantage of the situation. But to sit there and focus only on the looters and the people who are not fighting for the actual cause.
Right.
Well, okay, then, if you're going to use that small group to discredit our movement, then we're going to use the small percentage of bad cops to discredit all the good cops because they haven't said shit or too afraid that they might be silenced.
Right.
You know, the difference is we don't work for the federal government.
There you go.
We can't be silenced. We can't be fired.
I got one more question for you, brother. You think there's going to be a whole lot of people out here tonight?
Either tonight or not, yeah, I hope so. I really do because me and my coworkers are planning. We might close early again because, you know, curfew is 8 and we got a few people who, like, a few coworkers who are scared about that. So our manager closed early because of that. He's like, I'll let you guys go, you know, because he's worried that we might just get stopped.
Right.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no, excuse me. You got your way. You didn't get
Okay. Take care,
be
brother.
careful.
You as well, sir.
Okay?
Yep.
Be careful.
Yep. You have a good day. You have a good day.
You too.
All right, man. Well, that's all the questions I have for you. Hey, thanks for the interview, man.
Thank you, man.
Hey, stay safe out here.
You as well. What's your
And
name again?
My name's Bobby.
Bobby?
Yeah.
Daniel.
Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to
Hey,
meet
we're
you.
rising up. Our people are rising up, man.
We got to. We got to stick
It's
together.
a new revolution, you know.
Definitely. They're afraid of us to
The
together.
so-called white man's world is depleting, while our people, the native, the Mexicans, and the blacks, we're coming up. And the new world is gonna be for us. So we have peace coming to us, man. We just have to go through this bullshit, you know.
Even in science, they said in a few years, few generational years, most of the population will be mixed. There will be no pure race. Everyone will have a percentage of something.
Right.
So
well, you are what your father is. So let's say your father's Mexican, right? You are what your father is. You don't mix with your mother and your father. Because when you look at it, when a man and a woman have sex, right, it's a seed. And then the woman just births the baby, you know, so it's a seed. So you are what your father is. So there's no really mixing, you know. It's just one seed line. But it was good talking to you, bro.
You as well, brother.
Hey, have a good day, man.
You as well. I wonder what these people are all doing.
Yeah, so you guys, there you have it. There you have it, man. Phoenix, Arizona. Right now I'm on Jefferson and 4th Avenue. And I don't really see a lot of things going on. There's not really that many boarded up places. I've seen a few, but I don't see that many. I've seen a couple of cop cars, you know, Edomites, just walking around here, man. As you can see, Esau tried to come in the middle of that. That's what he does, man. That's what the so-called white man does, this damn devil, man. But I'm going to keep walking around a little bit. You know, this is what I decided to do for the day. The spirit led me over here. So I'm going to keep you guys updated. Hey, Shalom.